What's good, y'all? It's Lucky Luch here. Welcome back to my room and my YouTube channel. Today, man, I want to talk about Sinners. I know, I think I've made like 3 or 4 videos about this movie at this point. This might be the Ray 2 of movies where like, no matter what time it is, I'm gonna make a video about it. I'm gonna find time to make a video about it, you know? And I think at this point, I've seen this movie 6 times. So I saw it when it initially came out in its regular format in AMC. I saw it Dolby. I saw it IMAX when it re-released around Halloween. Saw it on Amazon. So it's the 3 formats plus Amazon. Then I just went back. Okay, so I'm at 5, not 6. My bad. This is a movie that I really enjoy. I keep rewatching. And as long as Warner Brothers is re-releasing this movie, I will keep on going to see it. That's how this works. Sinners has quickly become a piece of media that I really love and I keep on watching. And when I mean like pieces of media, this is including like shows and movies, series, things like that. And when I think about the scope of movies and shows that I keep on revisiting, there's a long, or I should say there's a pretty good list. I think of like Spider-Man the animated series. I rewatched it as a kid, a teenager, and as an adult. I have no shame in that. Did the same thing for Samurai Jack. There's also kids movies that I really love to rewatch, like The Lion King, Toy Story 1 and 2, Mulan is another one, Monsters Inc., Shrek. And when it comes to movies, man, it's Sinners is really in that top tier. The Departed, which is my favorite movie, I've seen that so many times. I can probably just like talk along with the movie, right, with all the dialogue. One Battle After Another, I've rewatched quite a few times. I expressed in my last video, or a couple videos ago, that this one lost a little bit of its luster for me, but it's still like a really awesome movie. And there's like a lot of other movies I rewatched, like Batman and Robin. That's probably not the great example. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze in that movie. That's like more of like a nostalgic watch. Then you got like holiday movies like Elf, Four Christmases. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. Let's talk about Sinners. Each time I've watched Sinners, I've gone in for like a bunch of different reasons. The first time I saw it, I ate 2 edibles. I was way too high. So by the time we get to like that music number about an hour in, my world was like, I was like, whoa, dude, I am way too out of my mind to really absorb what this scene was. And then the rest of the movie unfolds and I kind of walked out like, I have to see this again sober to really like, you know, to really get a handle on what I just watched. So I went back in a second time, absolutely loved it. And then the third time I went to go watch it, I did it more so to like really key in on the performance. There's like so many things that I loved about it, right? But the first time I watched, I was amazed and dazed and confused. Second time I watched it, I really liked it just for what it was. And then the third time I watched it, I could be more critical. So I really zoomed in on like Michael B. Jordan's performance as the Smokestack Twins. I really fell in love with Delta Slim and Delroy Lindo's performance. And also realized how smart and awesome Annie was. And how every character, for the most part in this movie, serves a purpose and helps the plot go forward, which I really enjoy. We have a lot of movies nowadays where characters are just thrown into movies just for them to be killed or to like sprinkle in this one little point of exposition and like guide us to a part. However, Sinners does this in a way where none of these characters feel wasted. All these characters have a purpose, which I really enjoy. And one thing I will say each time I watch this movie is how there is a whole 30 minutes before we get to Remick, which I find absolutely incredible because when Smoke and Stack go their separate ways, it's a chance for them to develop their characters. It's a chance for us to interact with other characters in the movie, right? We get to dive more into who Sammy is, what he's about. We get introduced to Mary and Annie, Grace, Bo. But also we get these really like comedic moments. We get more of a look at Smoke and Stack and how they operate outside of each other. We see Stack be like this little trickster, this little slick talker, you know? I love it when him and Mary are arguing at the train station. She goes like, "Go to hell, Stack." And his response is, yeah, like, I'll see you there and I'll save you some room next to me, right? And like, but he says it under his breath after she's walked away, like, damn girl, like, I really love you and I miss you, but I know the best thing is for you to be further away from me. And then this is further demonstrated when he has a little one-on-one talk with her. Whereas with Smoke and Annie, Smoke is a little bit more, he's got like a shield up for sure, doesn't want to open up, and he's like, oh, fine, you're gonna make me say it, I'll say it, because we both know it's true. And, you know, aside from Delta Slim, Smoke has got to be my favorite character in this movie. I mean, look, the trigger hand's a little shaky, but when it comes to pulling that trigger, man, hey, the aim is on point. The aim is on point every time. I love how he gives homie a flesh wound in the leg and says, yo, like, I can't be having anybody saying anything bad about us. So, like, you know, you're probably going to say we almost stole from him. I'm going to make sure those words never come out your mouth. At the same time, he knows how to handle business. You know, he handles the financials and really doesn't let anything slide. Whereas Stack, you know, like, he'll let a thing slide, but like, he's slick with it. Just seeing that really sets everything up for Remember to come into the movie, man. Whew. And it's crazy because I can go on and on about all this stuff, and it's before I mention the music. I mean, look, Rocky Road to Dublin is so good. Yeah. I would risk becoming a vampire if I'm hitting the little river dance like that. Are you kidding? Pick, Pull, Robin, Clean's kind of a banger too. And then you have Sammy's performance, which is so enchanting. It does what the beginning of the movie says, right? It conjures both the future and the past, the good and the evil. And then one thing that always amazes me that I never go back to is how Sammy's father and Remick, even though they're two completely different people, they're so different they wind up being the same person, which somebody probably has a really awesome YouTube essay on that. I don't have the time nor the intelligence to really like dive into it like that, but oh man. I feel like that's just scratching the surface with this movie. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but like, you know, that is going pretty well in depth, but there's more in here. There's so much symbolism. And depending on who you are, where you're from, like what your age is, there's different symbolism for everybody in here. Young, old, black, white, Asian. There's not really many Latinos in this movie, but you know, I'm not going to start on that right now. So I don't think that's a big deal, but it's just so much. And even if you don't like the drama, you don't like the gore, you don't like some of the sex stuff that's happening in there, my man Smoke goes Rambo at the end of this movie. Every time I watch this movie and I know what's coming, I'm still surprised. Those last 10 minutes where Smoke gets out the gat and he's killing everybody, he's throwing grenades, you know what I mean? Like, he's beating people up. It is so levels of gangster, man. Levels of gangster. Like, this is my hot take for right now. Editing Luch here. I think Smoke going Rambo on the KKK is just as rewatchable as the training montage from Creed 2. I can just watch those last 15 minutes of Sinners on its own and be satisfied. But then before this, you had fights. Before this, you had gore. Before this, you had jump scares. Then you also have a beautiful score. Comical moments with Delta Slim. Dramatic moments with Delta Slim. I mean, I'm sorry, this video is going all over the place. I just want to say, I love this movie. It is becoming an all-timer for me personally, and it's up there with so many pieces of media I will go back and rewatch. Also, one thing I noticed, the way my camera is positioned, it looks like my fan is about to chop my head off. Please know there is some distance here. There is some distance here. Yeah, I freaking love this movie. That's what this is gonna say. The title is gonna be like, I really love Sinners. Sinners is an all-timer. Sinners and other media I really love. Sinners and Samurai Okay. I'm gonna stop. Thank you guys so much for being here. I just really wanted to post it like a fun, spontaneous video. I hope you guys enjoy it. My name is Lucky Luch. I post here every Tuesday. We'll talk soon. Peace.